Hey guys, welcome back to another coaching video. I'm going to be reviewing our Kings Row footage from our very first match with Boosted Bonobos on OWUL Season 3. And we have Paradox looking over this footage as well as recording it, so let's hop to it. We're on the red team attacker.
AKA Bob.
So I'm looking at our composition as well, and I'm trying to adapt what we need with what we have. So again, Majora on the Reinhardt. I'm gonna go Zarya, but that's not gonna that's gonna change though. So it's really a matter of what does JR and what does Mirror Bright want to play in the situation. That's really what I'm asking them here.
Running a Reaper.
JR said he feels most comfortable playing on Reaper. Zen Lucio is not going to work with the Reinhardt. Zarya is one of my strongest characters on King's Row, but to make sure that everyone is on a character they're comfortable with and a character that complements the composition, we're going to switch the Zenyatta
Reaper is gonna get destroyed,
and
to
the Zarya. So I'm going to take Ana. Mirrorbright's going to
be honest.
take
But you guys
Zarya.
don't comp yet, so that's not your fault.
Fall back a bit, fall back.
Because we really need an Ana with this composition. Because it's a very brawly composition. And the Ryan is going to be key in dealing damage and engaging the fights. And for the Ryan to do his job, I need to pump heals into him. However, Mirror Bright, yeah, that's basically that information that you need. But the way in which, so the way we like to play King's Row is we like to fight high ground. So that's why I asked you, Ulysses, to be on Soldier. And then Reaper's a good flanking character that can burst down the tanks. So if we can, the idea here is that we'll take the high ground, Reinhardt protects us, Zarya and Soldier deal some damage from afar, and then when we feel ready, we'll engage and drop down. Once we drop down, that's the signal for the Reaper to catch them off guard from the flank, and he can assassinate one or two people.
I just want to bully the enemy front line, because their back line's pretty strong. Mercy's gonna be hard to kill, and Zen's gonna be protected by McCree and Soldier.
Soldier's got a biotic field, yeah.
So you guys want to break that shield, which they can do.
I mean, your tank comp's the same.
No,
Your
actually,
healer
if they get a
comp
good
is-
nade off, that's kind of what their key's gonna be. Because like if they get a good nade off, it doesn't matter that Mercy exists. They can just kind of walk through.
Alright, I really like where you guys are going here. It's good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to win this shield battle and try to grab it.
Just going in their back line.
Alright, looking good, dude. Alright, look for your opportunity. Nope, you shouldn't have jumped off. And
So, yeah. Hold on, what happened? What the fuck?
Mercy is good, and I think it'll be passable. Everyone else. He like lagging.
Like that are changing.
I think he's gonna take him. They kind of. Everyone else go for it.
Alright, look for your opportunity. Nope.
Fall back a bit, fall back.
Okay, so,
They kind of want to bully the enemy front line, because their back line's pretty strong. Because Mercy's gonna be hard to kill, and Zen's gonna be protected by McCree and Soldier.
Soldier's got a biotic field, yeah.
So you guys want to break that shield, which they can do.
I mean, your tank comp's the same.
No,
Your
actually,
healer
if they get a
comp
good
is-
nade off, that's kind of what their key's gonna be. Because like if they get a good nade off, it doesn't matter that Mercy exists. they can just kind of walk through.
Alright, I really like where you guys are going here.
So here we go. As planned, we're gonna rush up the top here, and they let us do so beautifully. Reaper Goods on the flank, which is perfect. We're waiting for the opportunity now.
Dude.
But this is where things go wrong. So you're supposed to wait until we drop, but I may not have communicated that clearly enough, and you
Free opportunity. Nope, you shouldn't jump off.
jump down and try to assassinate. Now, if you can get the kill on the Mercy, that would be amazing. She's one shot, but you're too far away to deal that much damage.
Until you saw what was going on, dude.
What are you doing? No, you're focusing the soldier. No, don't do that. I'm yelling at you to get in my sightline so I can heal you with my biotic rifle, but you say you can't. Even the door's right behind
Yeah,
you.
and then you pounce him like that. Look, now you're dead. You're all on your own, man.
So now we're... This composition, this strategy is really scary because now we're stuck up there on the high ground and we're stagnating because now that you're dead, we can't drop and engage. And what that means is now we're just going to get rained on with damage and we can't really do anything about it. We're just going to be stuck there.
What are you guys doing? You're
Yeah,
watching
his
Solaris,
idea was good, but yeah, he needed to wait for his team.
Yep. Like that was like exactly what you.
And then they booped some of us off,
should be
and
doing, but yeah, you seem like.
well, they booped me off, and then the McCree just focused me down. Why is it doing that?
All right, look for your.
Yeah, Reaper's going in their back line.
All right, looking good, dude.
It was a fine.
What are you guys doing?
Okay,
Yeah,
here we
his
go.
idea was good, but yeah, he needed to wait for his team.
Like that was like exactly what you should be doing, but yeah, you seem like.
So now I'm telling them to just retreat. I'm dead. They're gonna have to get
Who are
out.
you guys talking to?
We're doing a VOD for them so that they can review it later.
You can't take this point, Lucia. You gotta retreat. You have speed boost. Get out.
Alright, you guys shouldn't have been that far forward.
I don't know why you charged at them. I mean, I guess. I mean, sorry, you need it. What are you doing? We need to get out.
This.
Now I'll nade.
Oh, beautiful nade, dude. That was clutch.
Good.
Alright, you got a McCree behind you
You know,
guys.
Zarya's low.
Axel, tell your team. Talk to them. Still not looking.
I'm sure I was saying something.
Good kill.
Alright, still trying to 1v1 this guy. There's Zarya alone in there that's gonna die, probably.
He should be okay.
Why didn't you get a health pack? There's a health pack in there.
Oh, she did.
It's fine. We got it though.
You guys are really separated for that fight.
That was risky.
How did they do?
That was
Are
really.
you fucking serious?
That was just like that was the enemy team not like doing their thing right.
How did they do last round?
Oh, they lost.
They lost? Are you serious?
Yeah, they lost
Why?
first game.
Honestly, I think it's because that guy was lagging or whatever. Like,
I'm gonna guess Optimus?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's bad. I thought he was legitimately throwing for some reason. Alright, player, Awesome even got the Mercy. You should all be running in there as fast as you can now to go try to stop, except for one person on the cart. Maybe two.
I'd keep Ana on cart. Everyone else go forward.
Alright, you guys should have pushed up more. Actually, I kind of like where you're sitting. This is fine.
The enemy team's giving him
You gotta
free,
get
free
across,
range,
don't
so this
run
is
straight
fine.
into him. Dude, nope.
So now I'm telling them, let's use ults when we get to this corner right here. Not the corner I'm standing on, but the next one. And then from there, if we wipe them with ults, we can take it.
For a grab here.
Thank you, that was awesome. Alright, there you go. You did the right thing. Go around the side. But I want you to like look and then wait. Oh, that works too. Alright, now look, don't jump down. Perfect, dude. This is what you should be doing. Sit there, you perch. and
So here, everyone's saying they're not going to engage. They're not going to engage. They don't look like they're going to engage. They're very passively stanced. But I kind of really wanted, like, the moment that we all group up here. Let's just ult them and wipe them out so we can just make sure we get it. Because even if they are playing passively and they're not gonna engage us, they have bodies to stop the payload, which can stall us, which is no bueno. So the faster we take care of those bodies, the faster we are clean to just take it and move through. But I think communication was kind of sloppy in this exact instance because everyone was just kind of saying they're not going to engage. And I might not have contested that idea enough. That was a good flank from you, Reaper.
I'm so glad that you didn't even go down. That's perfect. Yep, go here, go for the
The
Zen.
fact that they were passively stanced like that should have spelled out for us, hey, we're trying to group up. And when they try to group up, because it's like, oh, they're not poking, they must not want to engage us. No, they're not poking, that means they're trying to group up and they'll attack as one, which is even scarier. And we fell for it completely. It was just, it was bad.
I go for the soldier.
Did you go for the Rhine? Because she's
We have.
I should have been a lot clearer with that.
No, they.
And that
That's
sucks.
high energy. So that Zarya, what happened is she got high energy for the fight, and that is something you guys could have avoided. I'm sure that's obvious, but also never let a Zarya go. Like if she's high energy, like you gotta kill her. The next fight's pretty much over.
It was literally, we just like, the team did not expect to get attacked there. We were caught completely off guard.
They should be looking at it.
So now I'm saying this is the corner that we need to ult on.
Behind the shield.
needs
Yeah, I told the soldier to back up. He's...
I don't know how.
So I'm looking for a nade here. That's what I'm trying to do. I get the Rhine with it.
I don't know how I feel
now
about
you can do whatever you want.
Now ult.
switching
Slam.
off
Oh yeah, baby. That was
That's a
good.
good one.
Yep, nice slam, dude.
It was super risky, and
There we go.
it shouldn't have worked, but it worked out, so can't fault that.
Did he kill anyone? I don't think he did.
Alright,
Really confusing us, Noah.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's my bad.
Muted.
Sorry.
No worries.
Alright, they should be trying to farm this Nano
I like
and
us to do
Zarya.
there again, Reaper.
What's our ult economy at? We have Visor. So what I'm telling Opti is that I am at 72. I'm going to wait for it. Don't pop it until I have Visor, or until I have Nano, basically, is what I'm
Wait,
telling him.
Noah, are you watching the stream or are you in the game?
I'm in a
Playing
ranked
a
game.
ranked game.
So this is a good chance to just farm, exchange damage.
Chaser on you guys. I hope you guys are, yep, nice sleep. Alright. That was just the lack of communication.
So I slept the Tracer, and yeah, people just kind of hit her. Just if you were wondering.
Should have said she was slept and hopefully the soldier wouldn't have woken her up. It might have just been too late, but
I did say she was asleep, but the thing is like, he was already preemptively shooting when I slept her, and there wasn't, like, when I said it, his brain didn't have time to process it. He just clicked.
pick, and that probably would have been the fight. Nice barrier.
So I have Nano now.
Nice sleep. Alright. You guys
Ryan
are
should be a little more
communicating about this
aggressive.
stuff.
Swing it, what are you doing? Don't be afraid. Alright.
Alright. Well now you're behind them. I don't know why. Wait, sorry. Oh my god. That sleep, dude, just saved you. Holy shit.
While you died, JR, you kept the soldier from getting on
Like,
point,
the
so
overview. Trying to
I'll praise you for that one.
I'll grab some food real quick.
So wait, what did he say about me joining? Did he say yeah or nay? Yes
He
or
said
no?
yeah, but you were just gone, so we couldn't invite you, so we'll invite you to the next one.
Okay, no, that's fine. Yeah. I'll wait until I am alone in my room to be able to comment.
That was a really good push, guys. So, like,
Go
how does it
heal.
yourself, like,
Take out those.
at the consequence.
Jesus, it's
That
very
doesn't work
paused.
is because you guys.
So, looking at these comps, we get the Rhine, we get the Soldier, we get the Zarya, I asked JR what he wants to play. He said Junkrat, and so I said, okay, if that's what you feel comfortable on. Rob went Mercy, and my mentality is they like to run dive. They like to run Winston and Tracer at the very least. I know that much. And Mercy has to be on the low ground to heal her team. I'm afraid that she's going to get picked off, and if she gets picked off, the tanks, like my team's just going to die. If I'm playing Lucy or Zen, they're just going to die. So I'm thinking, I'm not trusting Mercy to stay alive, basically. Not that I'm trash talking Rob, but I just don't see a Mercy surviving against this team that we're up against. So I decided to kind of act as a backup healer. So if Mercy dies, I can keep the team alive, at least the tanks. So from a high position, so my idea is of playing Anna here is if Mercy dies, they're gonna have to get to me to beat the team. And to get to me, they're gonna have to get past my teammates onto the high ground, and they're gonna have to knock me off, which I can't really like see them doing too easily. Like I suspect my team will stop them from just running over to me in the very back. So I'm thinking we can pull this off.
Went back, Ryan.
Not to mention Nano is a good ult for a defending Reinhardt.
Alright, I'm about to get critical on the support play.
So I'm telling them, hey guys, I'm on the right side here. What I want to see you guys do is try to stay around the right side of the statue here of Mandata, and try to avoid going on the left side. If you do want to go on the left side, make sure Mercy knows, but try to avoid that as much as possible. Soldier asked if we could stay up top. I said yes, so long as you have Mercy with you. As for the tanks, I said, if you want me to keep you alive, stay on the right side. If they push in, you back up. Don't go left, back up. And they said, okay, we got this. And I said, okay, we got this. So.
Are you watching? Are you watching Quentin?
No, I'm gonna watch Mercy if you want to keep on her.
Who's playing
Okay.
Mercy? Is it Mirror again?
Rob.
It's Rob?
Mhm.
Yes, watch him.
Shit, I had 8 HP.
Keep.
Isn't
Oh,
Rob a
wait,
little-
So you're going to get mad at Rob here for doing this, and I will let you know that, yes, I immediately yelled at him to go heal with the soldier and junk.
player?
And so he
I
did.
don't know why you're back there, damn it, dude. Okay, I like where you are right now. It's a good spot to be floating down between those two barriers.
Well, their Junkrat committed to
So now that our Junkrat's dead, I immediately told our soldier to jump down and to regroup with the tanks. He did, which is good.
Yeah.
Oh wait, did the match start already?
Now they're going to actually dive me, which I was suspecting they wouldn't think to do, but they're smarter than I give them credit for. And they force me down.
Being down Junkrat here is actually pretty bad because they don't have any area threat really.
So now I'm down, and now Mercy and I are ripe for the picking because there's no high ground for me to hold to defend myself.
Don't have a lot of heal against
Yep,
dive.
perfect. Glad he didn't fly out there.
This
That's good.
this fallback is really good though.
Calling.
Hiding in that pocket is where they should be. Too bad they just got.
Mercy died through my heals, which is so very unfortunate.
They should be backing off
They
and,
picked
like,
me
trying to
off.
contest if they want to, or just giving it up.
Okay, so the issue that didn't work is because you guys, your two healers are like, I don't know, you can't really do much for yourselves. You both kind of need babysitting, and that's like the issue. If you had a Lucio between one of you two, you could have been back there booping and like trying to evade them around until your team had the attention and like stress.
You're right, Sneaky. And the thing is what I probably should have done is just ran the Ana Lucio. That's probably what we would have performed best on with Rob on Lucio. But Rob wanted to be Mercy, and I figured I didn't think that they were gonna jump me like that, but they did. And that's me just underestimating them.
To look back and see you guys.
Because if one person flanks me, like they'd have to come through the tunnel to get to me, and that's an easy sleep dart for me, and I can just insta-give them. But with the whole team rushing me, that's a different story. That's
I might
unfortunate.
be tucked in by that health pack back there. Waiting.
Our number advantage is even right now. Well, actually, no, it's not because Axel still has to get back.
Mercy, this is no good. What are you doing? You should immediately, like, you went out the front door where the enemies are. I would have definitely gone out the left side and just around the back. And I would be hightailing it, but you're shooting and you're going to die for it, I
Right,
suspect.
Reaper. I think you're gonna.
And you're dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're just gonna get
They
seen
lose
right
this.
away.
Yeah, they
Big
need
kill.
to regroup.
I mean, the fair probably would have killed you as well, but I mean, you had res though, so if you had just
Alright, if you
hidden,
guys are facing a far issue right now, I've probably identified that.
we'd be in a better spot.
They start with a Reaper.
So now what I'm telling them is, people are asking, hey, do we need to switch? And I'm saying, as the main caller, no, we need to, like, the enemy has full tempo, and they have ults. Like, sure, they use fair ult, but they haven't needed to use that many to wipe us thus far, because they have so much tempo. And what I'm telling my team is not only do we need to stop their tempo, we also need to win with ult advantage, to kind of swing things back in our favor. So I'm telling them, do not change characters. You need to get your ults. We'll stop the tempo and we'll turn it around with that. That's the only way we're going to stop them. If we switch off characters right now and lose all our ult charge, we lose, basically. Because they'll dominate us via economy.
Although,
They have
actually,
a Bastion now.
running.
So they're about to push on it. Or they're about to capture it. We're waiting for the team to group up. We're almost fully grouped up here, I think. If not, we are. And we're kind of... But the Rhine Shield's about broken, so we're considering whether to contest or not. We probably should have just backed off.
A comp that's supposed to kill the enemy tanks when they have a fire mercy isn't actually horrible.
There was no reason for you guys to be anywhere near there. You guys decided you didn't want
We didn't decide. We were completely undecided there.
cap point, and then you guys sat out in the open instead of just sitting back at the choke and waiting for the next fight.
I don't
No
think
reason to lose that.
he's not good. If you use that res, that'd be really bad. They don't have any ults that need to be.
You guys are gonna do nano visor?
So now, basically they're on the corner here, and I'm telling the entire team very loudly, very clearly, we absolutely need to group up here. We cannot afford to get trickled. If we trickle here and we get picked off, we lose the whole thing. Like this moment right here that we're paused on is where it all falls down on. I see the Mercy and the Reaper are over here, but I'm over here with Soldier. Now I'm telling Soldier, he has his ultimate ability, I believe. Yes, he does. He has Visor. I'm telling him the plan. I'm telling him we need to go around the right flank. We need to hold the high ground there behind them. When they're distracted, we use our ult and we wipe them with Nano Visor. Now, what happens next is very upsetting to me because I said we need to group up, and then once we are grouped up, we'll engage with the tanks. We'll get their attention, distracted. We'll flank around the right side with Nano Visor. We'll wipe out the squishies in the back, and then we can have tempo from there, with the Reaper sandwiching them from the left. But what happens here is orders weren't necessarily followed, even though they were very clearly stated, and we're going to find a pick here on the Soldier that lost this fight, which ultimately snowballed into a loss.
You need to...
With you guys here on the left, you were split. There was no way to get out of this. I mean, we really needed to group up on the right side, but you were already out by the time I spawned. And there's nothing I can really ask of you to do from there. Like,
kill that Mercy and the Nano, or it's...
They're not grouping. You guys are. You need a group.
So at this point, hold on, has Soldier died yet? No, he hasn't. Look, he is dying though. So I'm yelling at him, stop poking me to group up. And he keeps poking, and he's dead.
Gonna run in on you, and the Ana's gonna die.
You best believe I'm yelling at him in the chat. So now you're gonna flame me right now for what I just did. But I basically said, at that point we were paused on prior to this, I said, we need to group up in Nanovisor, and if we don't, the game's over. Soldier poked, he died. People on the left died. They weren't grouped up with us on the right side. Not really much of a fault of their own because there wasn't enough communication for them to know. And Soldier died. They're basically going to take point now because we're trickled. There's only 2 or 3 of us on the point at any given time against 6 of them, and they have 3 ults. And I know they have ults. So I'm not left with any... I'm going to die, I already know that. There's only tanks on point, and the DPS just died. The Mercy's coming out of spawn. So I just have no choice but to really nano the Zarya and hope for the best, because I'm about to die.
Where did Nano go?
Put on Zarya.
Oh, it is on Zarya.
But the enemy team has Zen ult, and
Yeah, you should have saved that Nano for Nanovisor.
no, not possible. It got thrown away.
Kept that Zarya alive long enough for them to keep the cart where it is. But... Well,
A
I
recurring
like
theme
what
is
you
that
tried to do there, but
your supports aren't getting, or the enemy supports are not being pressured.
yeah, as a support player, I can tell you, like, if you're sitting there and nobody, like, trying to kill you, like, it is so easy to just do your job really well.
It's not possible to pressure the supports if half your team's constantly dead. Too much trickle.
Not that hard to kill people by yourself.
Let's see. So
Maybe
we're gonna try to... We're in a rough spot here. JR wants to go Reaper again, so I'm inclined to let him because I never really play with him. Like, JR is a substitute who kind of fills in for matches when we absolutely need him, but he doesn't attend practice. So I don't actually have a lot of play time with him. All I know is he plays... like, I let him play whatever he's good at because I just don't know what he's good at. So if he says he's best at Reaper in the situation, I let him be Reaper. And then the comp won't work if we don't have an Ana, and I'm the only person who's confident on Ana in this team. And that leaves the only other hit scan to be Opti-Tempest on his Soldier, which isn't really good at taking out far, but it's the best thing we got in this situation. Majora and Mirror Bright are tank mains, so Zarya Reinhardt for rushing the point's going to be important, and a Lucio for speed to get us where we need to be. So we're doing the best with what we've got here. But I don't, like, even in the spawn room here, I don't think it's going to work just because of the comp they're running. You already know because I spoke with you later on in the VOD here that I'm trying to figure out a solution to their comp with what we have. So, like, I know what we need to kind of do to win, but I just don't think we have the players with the hero pools to do it. But I think what we should have done is, yeah, just rushed them with close range damage on the tanks, which Shui kind of suggested, but I kind of doubted it in match at least.
where you can actually overwhelm your enemy during a fight and get
And to do that, they need to be landing nades. Like, not not defensive, they need to be landing purples.
Alright, I like that you guys got a Lucio. Up to a McCree, right?
Take
Pick. Okay, well you guys already got picked on that side.
defensive, they need to be landing purples.
Alright, I like that you guys got a Lucio. Let's see what you guys do here. You guys are gonna take a lot of spam. Alright, you guys left your Soldier behind. That was really risky if he got...
So we have orders, like, we have calls to say that we're not engaging or shooting until we get to the high ground here. Like, our job is to just get up there as fast as we can. soldier, what you did there was not only not communicated, we didn't know you were doing that, but also you weren't necessarily following protocol. So just make sure you're moving with the team's game plan. Reaper got picked off by the Zen. I'm not sure where that happened, but
You guys are,
that's
yeah,
unfortunate.
you guys should have all been sitting behind that wall until that rhino.
So I'm just hoping and praying that Ulysses will be able to deal with this Pharah, but he's not. Like, with the pharmacy, there's no way. But the thing is like, we need to... Rushing the tanks would be ideal, but it's I seriously doubt in this situation that we'll be able to shred the tanks before the Pharah shreds our DPS. Like, that's honestly what I'm thinking. Like, while the Reaper and Soldier are shooting at the tanks, the Pharah is just gonna focus me down and kill me. And then that's the push dead because the main healer's dead.
A pick like that.
And now you guys are retreating back there again, and they're just gonna put you in an even worse situation.
But in hindsight, that was really the only option we had.
No, yeah, this far is walking over them. Take the loss.
Yeah,
but then-
Reaper is trying to kill the Pharah, dude. That should be your sign that it's not gonna work out.
Nice pick.
They should probably swap to a McCree, right? Look at their comp.
I don't think they need to be on him, but because like the soldier can be okay.
Yeah.
But what they need is they need to either basically they need to make a choice.
I'm definitely calling for a group up.
We need
People
to
are poking.
kill the tanks on this pharmacy comp, and then we can worry about her, or we need to double hit scan, take out that Pharah.
So by this point, we already really know,
Letting both run amok.
like, this isn't gonna work, but it's the only thing we've got. And
Wow. Alright.
yeah.
Well, far behind you guys.
We should have just rushed main.
Really just making you guys run all over the map and able to do anything. One hero on their team.
Actually, I'm gonna keep spectating their Pharah just so they can whenever they're watching this back, they can see how they're letting her do whatever she wants.
The good Pharah players are never going to be sitting behind their...
The longer you stay alive, the longer you stall the next fight.
Like, you're not easily able to aim at. Alright, that was a really good block on the shatter. Nice job.
Yeah, too bad Shin was in front of him. Yeah, like no one's touching.
I'm not sure
This
why you
Pharah.
keep nanoing the Zarya.
I didn't mean a nano Zarya right there, actually. I meant to nano's Rhine, but she got in the way.
Even if you are high charge, it's still better to use it with like the visor.
Yeah, the only time you want to
That's guaranteed
the only
damage.
time you nano Zarya is to make her build ult.
You guys seem to be...
I main Zarya, and I main Ana, so definitely believe me when I say I know.
Like, you need her to build.
So, oh man. Okay, boys.
She's up top.
So basically we need a full hold here, like the fullest of holds, like not even a tick. So basically what we've been trying to do up until this point is how do I explain this? So we've been trying to draft compositions that work for everyone, and so because Ana's optimal for keeping up Orion under pressure, I was the best Ana player on the team, so I play Ana, even though really my best role is DPS. And that puts, hold on, Mirror typically did Zarya, which is not his best role either. Like, I think Mirror's best characters are Winston, but Winston's not going to work here. So he's kind of just like flexing around on the Zarya, which isn't really his best character. And then Ulysses is playing Soldier, which is one of his older mains. And Ulysses doesn't have many hours in the game compared to most of the people on the team. So he's his Soldier's rusty. I'll give him Like, that's very likely. His soldier's probably very rusty. JR, he's just kind of like doing whatever he needs to play to be good. I don't know what he's good at. Majora is good at Rhine and Hog, and he's the best Rhine we've got on the team, so I definitely want him on Rhine at all times. And Rob mains secondary support. But basically, if we need a full hold, this composition that we've been running to kind of like accommodate everyone isn't going to work. So I basically said, okay, I'm just going to do what I do best, and basically we all need to do the same. So Rob said he's a killer Symmetra on this point, so I said, okay, we don't have much to lose here, just do whatever you need to do. So we played Symmetra, and I trusted him. Majora on Reinhardt, for sure, that's a core component to this defense. JR said he wanted to be Pharah, so I let him be Pharah. Ulysses said he would be the second tank as Diva to take care of any Pharah rockets, and that leaves Mirror Bright with the healer role. So Resurrect, Teleporter is kind of what Rob and Mirror Bright are trying to do. But the thing is with Rob picking Symmetra, like I picked Hanzo because insta-killing's kind of the only thing that's going to stop their comp. Like, when I'm in the most desperate of situations, I go Hanzo. That's what I do. But with Symmetra and Pharah being my other DPSs, I need to be something with more consistency. And they basically, my team said, who's going to take care of their Pharah if you go Hanzo? And I said, I guess I'll just have to go McCree. So I go McCree.
Okay. Look at your comp. There's
No,
really
Virus,
no
Symmetra,
reason
and Mercy.
to combine. You guys should be running a Winston or Roadhog here. Actually, they do. Well, with the
Where do they-
Hanzo, I would say that now that you have a McCree, the Rhine makes sense a little bit more. But
I'm curious
your
what they're
Pharah and
thinking.
your Mercy are going to be gone, essentially. You guys don't have enough healing in this case.
We don't, but
It seems like they're going 2-2.
our roster is just really
Or
unbalanced
maybe
with
not 2-2,
roles.
but like a half and half comp.
Yep. Your tank, both of your tanks need a shitload of healing because they're armor based. They don't have that. Don't have any way to get that back really easily. And you guys are trying to solo heal. So I'm gonna guess they're just gonna beat you by world. You're not gonna be able to heal through the fight. See what
I told
happens.
Symmetra, get away from the left side. He needs to,
They might be okay.
if he gets picked, we basically lose. So I told him, get over here on the right side.
He needs to, get out of
McCree's
the
already
He did a pretty good job maneuvering his way around the left.
Come up.
He should be holding the room here on the right.
He needs to have it before this fight like really starts.
Got him.
but-
You should be right up next to that Rhine right now, trying to wait for them to advance so you can burn them down.
Okay, so their Pharah's down.
How are you guys with it? Alright, nice fly. You guys have a soldier above you right now.
And got their Zenyatta,
So,
but
you guys
everyone's getting riggedy wrecked.
Pharah rained havoc on you guys.
That was a fat transcendence, not gonna lie.
They jumped down on us from high ground, and there wasn't much we could do there.
We screenshot this.
And that's King's Row. I hope things to work on. Definitely a lot on my part, like trying to just force a game plan with a composition we're not used to having. Like the starting lineup typically will have the Lucio Mercy, and then I'm usually playing DPS, but I flexed to the Ana, and everything got really complicated, and they had a Pharah, and even though all the circumstances changed, we kind of tried to run the same strategy, but I just didn't really have anything else to throw at them, with so much unfamiliarity with our composition. But I'll have to get used to that. So definitely when you're playing Reaper, JR, try to wait for the team to engage first so you can catch them off guard instead of getting focused 1v6. Soldier, listen to your captain. Don't poke when you're told not to poke. Reinhardt, I mean, you blocked all the damage you could, and considering the game plan, it's really rough for you to do your job. And yeah, I mean, it's just hard. It's just hard for us. We'll have to work on new game plans for Kings Row. We can't just rely on the same one. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you learn some more things.